The 7 Hermetic Principles. Quote, "The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these, understandably, possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open." End quote. The Kybalion. The 7 Hermetic principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based are as follows. 1. The principle of mentalism. 2. The principle of correspondence. 3. The principle of vibration. 4. The principle of polarity. 5. The principle of rhythm. 6. The principle of cause and effect. 7. The principle of gender. The principle of mentalism. Quote, "The all is mind. The universe is mental." End quote. This principle embodies the truth that, quote, "all is mind," unquote. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses, is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and in its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The Hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. All of the external manifestations are ultimately created in the mind. And if the mind is controlled, what is created will be controlled by those who have the knowledge on how to control the mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long decades ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as at the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. It's explaining there is only one being here at the highest fundamental level of creation. The all. Call it God, whatever you want to call it. We exist within this spiritual construct. And this spiritual construct gives rise to what we call matter through vibration. We think that everything is separate. This goes to the fundamental basic worldview that we hold. Is everything completely separate from everything else, which leads to materialism, which leads to us versus them mentality? Which leads to the non-understanding that as we're doing to someone else, we're doing to us. Because there is no separation at the highest level. This is one being having an experience. That's why it's called a universe. One being experiencing something, a change, a great change. From versare in Latin, meaning to change. And yeah, I understand it means to turn, but that doesn't mean like physical turning. It means turning into something else, changing, like the seasons turn. One change, the universe, the all, a spiritual construct that exists in mind. This is the mind of God. Call it whatever you want. Again, that force, what that force is, you're not going to know as a monad, a individual unit of consciousness. The all knows that, what it actually is. That's what it's doing. It's gaining more experience of what it actually is. That's why it's going through this one change called the universe. It's acquiring more knowledge of itself, just as that's what our goal should be. If we want to reflect the divine, we need to acquire more knowledge of ourselves, because we're going so far away from the source, the actual true divine mind. We're descending deeper and deeper into materialism, barbarism, and real chaos as a people, as a species, because we think we know it all, because we know so many things that we think we know about science. We have all this knowledge, quote unquote, and very little wisdom, meaning how to actually apply that knowledge to create something that we really want to create for ourselves, that truly serves us and doesn't act as a detriment to our evolutionary progress in consciousness. Because consciousness is often left out of this equation altogether. Oh, it's all about more knowledge of the physical, but never more knowledge of the mental realm, of the psychological realm, of the emotional realm. No, we want to run away from that. We don't want to really look at that in ourselves. And we certainly don't want to understand that we're always all connected to that infinite source in a one-to-one connection that doesn't require priests or intercessors or intermediaries of any kind. No, because we want to look at, we want something to come and rescue us and save us from ourselves. Not to actually do any real work in transforming our own consciousness on our own to get up to a higher level of understanding. God forbid that. Because that's called real work. That's called really looking at oneself. And humanity wants nothing to do with that as a species. They want license. They want license to ignore that work, which is license to just completely abdicate personal responsibility. And until we consciously decide to change that, don't expect the external reality to change, because it's not changing a bit until we change the internal world of mind.